left-hander, and we saw signs of that in the wickets that he took, and also his pace was up as well. I think he's up to 405.
Right, let's just leave it where we are because we need to get out to Sydney, and as you can see, David Warner is ready to give a press conference.
Okay, David's going to read a statement, then we'll take questions. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming this morning. To the fans and the lovers of the game who have supported and inspired me on my journey as a cricketer, I want to sincerely apologise for betraying your trust in me. I have let you down badly. I hope in time I can find a way to repay for all you've given me and possibly earn your respect again. To my teammates and support staff, I apologise for my actions and I take full responsibility for my part on what happened in Day 3 in the Newlands Test. To Cricket Australia, I apologise for my actions and the effect it has had on our game under your care and control. I want you to know that I fully support your review in the culture of the Australian cricket team. To South Africa, the players, administrators and fans, I apologise unreservedly for my part in this, and I'm sorry. I brought the game into disrepute on your soil. South Africa is a fine cricketing nation and deserves better from its guests and deserve better from me. To all Australians, whether you're a cricket fan or not, I apologise for my actions. And I'm sorry for the impact those actions have had on our country's reputation. I can honestly say I've only ever wanted to bring glory to my country through playing cricket. In striving to do so, I've made a decision which has had the opposite effect, and it's one that I'll regret for as long as I live. I do realise that I'm responsible for my own actions and the consequences that brings. It is heartbreaking to know that I will not be taking the field with my teammates I love and respect and that I have let down. Right now, it is hard to know what comes next, but first and foremost, is the well-being of my family. In the back of my mind, I suppose there is a tiny ray of hope. That I may one day be given the privilege of playing for my country again. But I'm resigned to the fact that that may never happen. But in the coming weeks and months, I'm going to look at how this has happened and who I am as a man. To be honest, I'm not sure right now how I'll do this. I will seek out advice and expertise to help me make serious changes. I want to apologise to my family, especially my wife and daughters. Your love means more than anything to me. I know I would not be anything without you. I'm very sorry for putting you through this, and I promise you that I'll never put you in this position again. Before I take questions, I want to again say thank you. I take full responsibility for my part in what happened, and I am deeply sorry for the consequences of what I was involved in. I failed in my responsibilities as Vice-Captain of the Australian cricket team. I'll now answer your questions.
Okay, David. The cruel treatment of Candice early in this tour, how much did that play on your mind and how much did that affect your decision achieve on that day?
It's tough. It's tough for me to talk about where my thought space was on that day, given the circumstances that happened in Durban. But I'm here to take full responsibility of my actions, of the part that I played in, that happened on day 3 in Newlands, in Cape Town. And I'm extremely sorry. I really, really regret that. And it's going to be a decision that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life.
David Warner, who else was involved? You were involved, Cameron Smith was involved, you were involved, Cameron Bancroft was involved, Steve Smith was involved. Can you hand on your heart say no other players or the coach knew about your plot that happened in South Africa?
I'm here today to accept my responsibility for my part, my involvement in what happened in Cape Town. It's inexcusable. I'm deeply sorry. As I said, I'll do everything I can to earn that respect back from the Australian public.
You haven't answered the question. Sorry. Who else was involved?
Sorry, excuse me, one question each.
Were you the orchestrator in this scandal? Was it your idea?
As I said, I'm here to take full responsibility for the part that I played in this. It's extremely regrettable. I'm very sorry. I really just want to move on from this.
David, do you think that you and the other players have been told, that we've been told were involved, misjudged perhaps the mood or are surprised by just how badly the public has taken what happened?
I'm not surprised at all. We let our countries down. We made a bad decision. I played my part in that. And as I said, it's going to take a long time to earn that respect back from the Australian public. It's really hard to sit here today knowing and seeing my friends, my family that are playing in South Africa at the moment in this 4th test, which I wish that I was a part of.
Dave, has your relationship been ruined with the Australian cricket team? It appeared as though you're on your own when this crisis broke out.
The Australian cricket team and my family. I really regret what happened on that day 3. As I said, I just really wish I could be there today that was on that field with them. That's one thing I'm really going to miss this next 12 months.
Okay, you flew home separately to Steve Smith.
Sorry, mate, we've had your question, Scotty.
Mate, at the time, Dave, the ICC's ruling that it's a one-match ban and Cricket Australia did nothing, you'd be playing. Did you realise, how serious the crime was at the time, or was it all too late? Once it happened, then you realised then?
This we know what the consequences are when you make horrible decisions like this. As I said, I'm extremely sorry for my part and my role that I played in this. And I really wish and hope that Steve and Cameron have the same support that I have with me, because it's going to be a tough and emotional time this next 12 months.
Steve?
Dave, are you considering retirement?
That's something that I'll continue to sit down with my family and weigh up all my considerations before I make any decisions.
Can you hand on your heart say that you have never done this in any match before, you've been involved in a plan to do this in another match, or that this is not
As I said before, I'm here to accept my responsibility for the part that I played in Day 3 of Newlands Cape Town Test.
That question is going to hang in the air.
Tom?
Dave, what's your relationship with Steve, Cameron, Mitchell Stark? Do you think those relationships could be repaired?
We're mates. We've grown up with each other. We've played on the field for a long time with each other. It's going to be really tough not to be able to partake in the next 12 months. Not just with the rest of the team, but with Steve and Cameron. Because we made a decision that was inexcusable and extremely regrettable.
Last one, Matt.
Dave, do you feel you've been made a scapegoat here? You're holding back with some of your answers. Are you being singled out?
As I said before, I'm here to speak about myself and take responsibility for the part that I played in this.
Whose idea was it? Whose idea was it, Dave?
Thank you.
Was it your
Was it,
idea?
who took the sandpaper out there?
Thank you.
Was it your idea? Why won't you answer the question?
Okay, that was pretty tough viewing. You guys watching it, what were your thoughts whilst you were watching it?
You know, with the others, it looked like they were not going to look beyond their own actions. Looking at that, it looked like he kept saying, I'm going to take responsibility for what I did on that Wednesday, on that day at Newlands, that third day. So he wasn't going to say any more than that. I think he might have wanted to say more than that, but he wasn't going to say any more than that. I mean, his is the classic battle of what Australian cricket finds itself in at the moment. Wherever he has been, David Warner, he has been a very successful cricketer because of his attitude, because of the way he plays that game. It's win at all costs. Wherever he's been, IPL, he won it as captain of the T20 in a triangular that's just happened. How did they go in that? They won that. People who play with him say they want him in their side because it is win at all costs. But when you have that attitude, occasionally you do go over the top, and Warner has gone over the top, and he's paid the biggest price.
There was one question, a killer question really, wasn't it, where one of the journalists asked whether there was any other he knew of any other involvement with any other player, and he just straight took it back and said, no, it's all about me, my responsibility.
Yeah, but in a
want to
different
get
way
it.
from, I think, Steve Smith and Bancroft were basically said, I'm not actually worried about anyone else. I think David Warner there was a little bit, I've got to be careful what I say here. He was specifically just talking about on that day, on that specific time, that was my responsibility, and I'm not going to be drawn on anything else, because that's what everyone else wanted to hear from the David Warner press conference. Was who else was involved? Was it just you?
I think there was one other question I couldn't quite clearly hear, but about retirement as well. I mean, do we think he's going to come back from this? I mean, he was very emotional there, understandably, at this stage, but...
Well, we know one thing for sure, he's got a bit of time to consider it, and that's what he suggested there. So, look, he will go back and talk to his advisors. His family obviously play a massive role in his life in terms of his cricket career and what have you. So, yeah, he's got 12 months to weigh that all up.
Right, let's get out to the ground because we can get further reaction there. We've got Michael and Ian.
We've had three very difficult and emotional press conferences to listen to with all this ball tampering. I apologise for the wind if we're getting battered around a bit. What would we pick up from what David Warner was saying there? He supports the review into the culture of the Australian cricket team. He's apologised to South Africa. He says he's going to look at who he is as a man, and he's going to have to make some serious changes.
Yeah, it's not an easy watch, any of the press conferences really. Bancroft, Smith and Warner take no pleasure in watching people in that situation at all. And he kept it very narrow, didn't he? Reflecting on that third day in Cape Town. So there'll be some relief from Cricket Australia because obviously they're firefighting and trying to contain it. And every one of the players who have gone up in front of the press has basically kind of narrowed that focus down and taken the responsibility on themselves and not, cast blame elsewhere.
He seems resigned for the 12-month ban. Does that perhaps indicate that he's not going to appeal it and he's just going to take his medicine?
It's interesting because that ban is the proposed ban, and in the process the players would have an opportunity to challenge it through a legal process, and the implication there was that he's not going to do that. So we'll see it. But he also said he was going to take further advice over the next few days, and it's not an easy situation, and all these players will be consulting legal advisors, and that advice takes time.
What about the mental health side of all of this? Putting these lads up in front of a baying media like that. I mean, they did the press conference quite responsibly, and then when he went up to leave, they're all throwing questions at him again. We saw Steve Smith coming out of Johannesburg Airport, etc.
As I've said, or we've said over a number of occasions the last few days, the reaction has been completely over the top, really, the hysteria. And that will have an impact upon these players in a way that the sentences or the sanctions handed down from the ICC and Cricket Australia are almost the least of it. It'll be, you know, going about their daily business, walking to the shopping mall, walking down the street, jumping into the car, the reaction that they'll get from the Australian public, which, you know, has been totally hysterical about this. And therefore there will be an impact, I think, on their mental health, and there'll be support, I assume, from the Australian Cricketers Association and more professional support as well.
I mean, he did say about the public reaction he wasn't surprised.
No, well, I think they are surprised, because when Smith and Cameron Bancroft did the initial press conference in Cape Town on that evening, you know, Smith was talking about just moving on. So I think the enormity of it now has hit home on them, but I still think the thing has been hysterical.
Do you think it can come again for Australia? I mean, he described the Australian cricket team as my family. It obviously means an enormous amount to him.
Well, you can see that in the way that he's played so brilliantly over the years. Can he come again? That is a very difficult question to answer. I would never say never for anybody, because, you know, once you've done your ban or the sanction that's been imposed upon you, absolutely should be able to, excuse me, come back and play again. But they, you know, in the Cricket Australia sanctions, they did seem to single out David Warner. So whether he will be treated differently to the others, I don't know.
Tough to listen to and watch, wasn't it?
Absolutely, David Warner there taking full responsibilities for his actions in the ball tampering scandal that, of course, beset Australia.